Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. So this weekend in both the LCS and the LEC, we saw Senna AD carry absolutely popping it off, and it's kind of been a while since we've seen Senna be a really strong AD carry. I mean, it seems like she kind of goes through phases of being one of the best picks in all of League of Legends, and then she kind of just gets kind of randomly nerfed and gutted, and you don't really see her for a while. But the interesting thing is that we saw her in two very different ways between Zven on Cloud9 and Rekkles on G2. But the big thing here is I think this pick is really great in pro play, and we're going to continue to see it, but it's also great in solo queue as well. So in this video today, we're going to be breaking down this pick, the two different play styles, how you can be successful with each, so we understand a little bit more about pro play, but maybe so you guys can gain some LP of your own in your solo queue games as well. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you're not already subscribed, definitely click that subscribe button really quick. It's fast, it's free, it's easy, helps you guys stay up to date on all my latest content, and I would appreciate it a ton. We're getting closer and closer to 6,300 subscribers. It would be awesome if we could hit that before the end of January. So I would appreciate that a ton. Also, dropping a like on this video if you do appreciate these kind of videos, if you want to see more of this, or if you just want to support the channel, because it helps me out with the YouTube algorithm a ton. So getting right into this, again, Senna AD carry. People are sleeping on it in pro play, and people are sleeping on it in solo queue. The win rates are actually pretty good in solo queue. But one thing that really stood out to me from this Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves game, this was game 3, where Cloud9 is down 2-0 in the series. Her backs are up against the wall. Zven decided to pull out the Senna AD carry, and people weren't really sure what to expect. But as you can see in this clip right here, it is the Tahm Kench farming. It's Tahm Kench with Doran's shield. It is Senna with the Spectral Sickle. This is fasting Senna back once again. This was a pick that really started taking off in Season 10 after Senna got some buffs to where she actually gets more gold and more souls when she doesn't farm, when she's just around someone that kills the minions. This was intended, obviously, to buff up Senna's support a little bit because Riot wants her to be able to support and AD carry. But, again, these creative teams, these creative players realize that if you take a really tanky support and you allow them to farm up like a Tahm Kench, who can keep the Senna very safe, obviously, you end up getting just an absolutely huge meatball in the Tahm Kench. I mean, he pretty much becomes Tahm Kench top lane, being able to do a decent amount of damage, but also being very tanky and being able to save the Senna from crazy situations. But you also get insane scaling on the Senna. This Senna, even though she's not farming, she's still getting additional gold from the souls, because that's a recent buff that she got. She's getting more of these souls more often. She's still really useful with the team, for obviously with her Q healing, her ultimate across the map, and her auto attacks applying the glacial augment slow. But the damage really scales up insane. So for this pick, if you guys do want to pull this off, or if you just want to know what's going on, this is obviously glacial augment Senna. That is very normal. This is magical footwear, biscuits, approach velocity, which is so good on Senna. Anyone who's movement impaired, you get a movement speed boost towards them. That's so good for kiting, positioning. Obviously Senna is applying slows and stuff to people all the time and getting that. It's like 15% movement speed increase when she is the one applying the impaired movement. So that is so good. And then it's going to be Precision Secondary with Presence of Mind and Legend Bloodline. The Presence of Mind is going to be so good for Senna. I mean, you are just spamming spells all the time. All of her spells, all of her abilities are so useful. So the more mana you can have to just continually spam those out is really going to help you. Now, the build we saw from Zven in this game, it was obviously the Spectral Sickle start, where you are letting the Tahm Kench farm up. You can see right now, Tahm Kench has 17 CS. Zven just got his first. So you can get a little bit of CS here and there, because the support item does allow you to get some CS without getting the reduced gold and stuff from the support item. But for the most part, Tahm Kench is trying to get as much of it as he can. You are going to be down a little bit of CS. You can see Kai'Sa has 28 to Tahm Kench's 21, but that's okay. And I think the strategy can, again, be really good in solo queue, especially if you have a duo. It probably requires a lot of coordination. You probably wouldn't want to go into solo queue and try figuring something like this out. But it also works with some different options as well. You could go something like a Leona, you could go a Nautilus, you could go maybe like an Alistar even. You just need a real tanky boy that's kind of getting fed for this Senna. But then again, as far as the build, he went for the Sickle into Swifty Boots, into Umbral Glaive, which is going to be super nice, obviously helping deny the vision, but that lethality on Senna is always super good. We know that. That's something we've seen forever. And then the Rapid Fire Cannon as well. Again, with the support Senna, you're going to be getting a ton of souls as your support farms up. You're going to be getting that increased soul drop rate. So that's going to be increasing your range. That's going to be increasing your damage. But then the Rapid Fire Cannon on top of that, once you get to the late game, like Cloud9 Cloud9 did in this game, I think this game goes like 40 minutes or something. The Senna damage is ridiculous, but also the range is so insane, especially on top of the rapid fire cannon, that you're like doing 20% of people's health from one auto attack that's like an entire screen away. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And then that's on top of all the utility that you're able to provide to your team in terms of, again, the healing, the cross map ultimate. You obviously have your thing that like stuns people, roots them in place, whatever that is. It's just so good. You can be so annoying, and that's why this pick is so good. Obviously, games in solo queue go super long sometimes, especially in lower elos, and this pick just scales up so insanely well. Where you think Senna that's not really farming, Senna that's more of a supportive style AD carry, maybe isn't able to do as much damage, maybe doesn't scale as hard as some of these other picks. But in this game, Zven on Senna is up against a Kai'Sa, and he just ends up, still being an insane damage threat late in the game, especially when you expect Kai'Sa to be, super scaling AD carry. I mean, even in lane, you can get really disgusting when Tahm Kench is applying slows, Senna's applying slows, the range is crazy. I mean, they're like bullying them out of lane right now, and this is against FBI and Huhi, who are one of the better bot lanes in the LCS. It's just really crazy. And again, this is even while Cloud9 is down like 20 CS. I mean, that's just going to happen when you're a Tahm Kench trying to farm against ranged champions. It's going to be a little difficult. It's going to be tough. But yeah, you want to keep your AD carry player on the Senna. Obviously, they're more used to like kiting and auto spacing and all that stuff. And yeah, your support might be down a little CS. Maybe they're not really used to CSing. It's okay. You just want to be getting as much as you can. And then the more farm you're able to get, that's obviously just going to help your Senna even more. And again, this strategy is super good in pro play. I think we're going to be seeing a ton of it, especially in the upcoming weeks. Cloud9 showed how strong it could be. They pulled it out in game 3 when they were down 2-0. They must really believe in this because their tournament hopes were on the line, and they were able to pull this out. But in solo queue, if you look at U.GG, like Diamond Plus games, Spectral Sickle actually has pretty much the same win rate as starting Doran's Blade. So this is a viable strategy in solo queue, duo queue, whatever you want to call it, as well, and it can be super strong. But then on the other side of it, we saw the G2 and Astralis game where Rekkles really likes the Senna as well. Also, I think Senna is a great pick for G2. They're this crazy, insane team that loves making plays all around the map, and that utility from Senna can be so good and so useful. So I think this is a pick that we're really going to see a ton from G2 this season. We're going to see it a ton from Rekkles, and it's going to be very popular. Rekkles likes to play just the normal straight up Senna. He starts Doran's Blade. He actually builds the Kraken Slayer into Berserker Greaves, into Ginsu's, into Rapid Fire Cannon, and he's able to be very successful with that as well. So I think that right now, Senna is just an awesome pick that has a bunch of different playstyles that can be super exciting and fun, keeping every game fresh and interesting. But also, she's just good in so many different situations, so many different scenarios. If your team has some carries, she can, help boost them up. Like in this game, the Olaf gets insanely fed, and Senna is able to really heal them, allow them to make cross-map plays, allow them to be super supportive of the team, but also able to do an insane amount of damage as well from an insane amount of range and give you a scaling threat on the team. So yes, while we haven't maybe seen Senna in a while, and even to start off the season, we're not seeing a ton of Senna in pro play. The Senna we are seeing in solo queue, the Senna we are seeing in the LCS, in the LEC, and really everywhere across the world has been very successful so far. And obviously she just got a buff, helping out with Senna a little bit. So I think we're going to continue to see more and more of her. So I just wanted to let you guys know that Fasting Senna, as we called it in Season 10 when it was super popular, it is absolutely back. But in Season 10, we went through points where Fasting Senna was clearly the best, and that's what everyone was playing. And then that would get nerfed. And then AD Carry Senna would be clearly the best, and then it'd go back to farming. But right now, it seems like both strategies are extremely viable. Both strategies are working in different leagues, on different teams. It depends on your playstyle. It depends on what your support wants to do. It just depends on what you've practiced. It depends on your composition. And we're also seeing both styles be successful in solo queue as well. So if you're looking for a new fun pick, whether you're an AD carry player or whether you have a duo bot lane partner, maybe you have a new thing to try out as well. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. It helps me out so much with the YouTube algorithm, and I would appreciate it. Leave a comment down below. Which one do you think's better? Do you prefer the Fasting Senna? Do you prefer the straight up normal AD carry Senna? Or do you just think Senna's trash altogether and you're staying away from her? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on anything we talked about in today's video. Subscribe to stay up to date on my latest content. We're trying to hit 7K subs in 2021. That would be absolutely sick. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!